So I thought I'd do a product review, I guess. So on this side we have the Audi A3 Etron. It's 3,600 pounds and just over 200 horsepower, electric, for 40k worth of range approximately, and it is one of my favorite cars of all time. It's based on the Golf chassis, so it's kind of like a Golf with a bit of extra stuff thrown into it. And it's a substantial car, very solid, very quiet, absolutely gorgeous to drive. And then over here we have the A3 GTI, the Derek Spratt version, the ultimate version, and it's 1,900 pounds and it's 240 horsepower. And just to compare it, you know, if you open the door, it's a much lighter door and has much less sort of oomph to it when you open and close the door. Comparing it to the Mk7, it has the Mk7 is 3,100 pounds gross weight. Oh, sorry, the basic weight of the vehicle, and 228 horsepower for 2019. So that's 13.5 pounds per horsepower. And this car is weighing in at 7.5 pounds, so about half, so about twice the acceleration. But the turbocharged 2019 Mk7 has a broad curve, more usable range, I guess you could say. So it's going to not feel as, though it's half as fast, it's going to be somewhere in between. This car is 1.5 feet shorter than the new Golf, and it's 8 inches narrower, so it's a tiny car in comparison on the outside. On the inside, not so much so, though. It's surprising how these original Mark 1s are very practical with their internal volume. So compare the internal volume of this car with this car, there's almost no difference. This is wider on the inside, so it can barely fit 3 people across in the back. This one, very tough to fit 3 people across in the back. Doesn't even have 3 sets of seat belts, but it's actually got as much or more storage capability than I get in this car, even though this has got the hatch on it. I can flip the seats forward and just jam it. It's very square back there, it's very usable. This is more constrained, and it's actually easier to get in and out of this car than it is in this car. I find I bang my head a little bit in this. From a driving perspective, wow, what a difference, right? This is like so polished and so smooth, and you know, absolutely a dream. But you're isolated from the road. You don't have the sense of vibration, you don't have the mechanical feelings. With this car, it's completely mechanical in all aspects, and you really feel that. You feel the pebbles, you feel all the undulations on the road. Very precise steering, very sensitive steering, but not sensitive to the point of nervousness, just really like you feel connected to the road. Same thing with the brakes. With this car, you put your foot on the brakes, it stops. There's no real sort of fuss nor muss. This, again, you really feel that you're braking the car. There's no ABS. You're connected to the wheels and the road precisely. Transmission in this car, obviously you're rowing a 5-speed manual, pretty stout race-style clutch. So it takes a little bit of technique. This, front drive go, even with the sequential manual and the modern Golf GTI, it's pretty much just, you know, accelerate, brake. Don't have to worry about shifting gears. You can row it, obviously, if you get the 5-speed, the 6-speed manual. I would say that the shifting of the new cars versus this, it's a very, very different experience. Again, hugely preference-based. Which is better? There's no way to compare the old cars and the new cars. This is very retro, very old school, very involving, sensory, almost overload with the sights and the sounds and the smells. This is like you're not even driving, and this is sort of like you can see where cars are headed. The autonomous car future is not far ahead of us, because the cars that we buy, even the sports cars we buy nowadays, leave you very much removed from the day-to-day act of driving a vehicle. I've been on the racetrack with M2s, M3s, various models of Porsches, certainly driven this car, and you cannot compare the two of them. One of them is like you don't even know you're going quickly around the track, other than there's G-forces that are being applied to your body. but you're just not as present and involved. With this, you're completely immersed in the experience. So when I'm up for it, when I'm in the mood for it, the GTI, fantastic car. Wouldn't want to be stuck in endless traffic like I was last week going through Seattle, where it took almost 3 hours end to end to get through bumper to bumper, start and stop traffic. That was not fun in this car. This car, it would be not fun, but totally painless experience, basically. This, you were struggling. So I would say you want them both. You want to go old school and really see what cars used to be like and really enjoy very, very high performance envelope in the ultimate A3 GTI. This thing's an amazing experience. Wouldn't give this up for the life of me. So wouldn't live with just one or the other. I want them both. So that's kind of my review. After being in this thing for 4,000 kilometers over the last week, I'd say I loved about 80% of my time in it. If I had to drive the exact same in this car, I wouldn't have been all excited when I got to certain roads and, you know, had sort of my moments of brilliant driving. You just wouldn't have the highs and you wouldn't have the lows. You'd be kind of right in the middle, like you're on your Prozac. This is very much like you've had a cup of coffee too much and you're plugged in and you're sort of hyper. So kind of neat. There you go. Thank you.